Today is part 3 of how to quit your job and never look back. That is what we're on right now. We've done obviously 2 other episodes of it, yesterday and the day before. And it's basically what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm just kind of walking you through what I did and also some things that I came up against, realizations that I made. All of this is not to just hear myself talk, but more for you guys to be able to either align with and say, oh my gosh, I feel that way too. Here's the reality of this situation, or here's what's going to come up. Here's how I can prepare for it. That's what I love to really be able to do for you guys. Also, I came on a little bit early today because I wanted to. So that. Anyway, okay. So how to quit your job and never look back, part 3. Okay. Today, what I want to talk about is, what I talked about before. If you didn't see the episodes before, what I talked about is I went through my 2016, which was when I quit my job originally, and kind of the stuff that I went through. Then I went into yesterday, how I got my first clients, how I actually was able to create income where no income existed, right? And so that was yesterday. And now what I want to talk about is how I was able to grow from that place rather than just staying there. Because a lot of times, guys, your first thing that you do isn't going to be the thing that you do forever and ever, amen. You will refine, you will bob and weave, you will discover that maybe you had romanticized this thing that you thought you wanted to do, and then you started doing it and you're like, wait, I don't want to do this, you know? That happens. And also that's okay. I think there's a version of us whenever we start our businesses that feel like if we don't see it through, that we're unsuccessful, that we're losers, that we're failures if we don't see the original thing through. No, you're an entrepreneur. I don't know anybody that is still doing today what they originally started doing. But you don't know that you don't want to do that until you do it, right? So for me, I had an SEO agency. I'm just naturally good at SEO. It's one of those weird gifts of mine. And so I started an agency. Well, I remember the moment that I didn't want to do it anymore. We had brought so we still lived in Iowa at the time. Excuse me. Oh, I just burped on. There we go. That happens. We're just going to keep it moving. Sorry, guys. That's fun. Anyway, so we were living in Iowa, and we wanted to bring Nora down to Disney World. I had never been to Disney World in my life. Nora had obviously not either, and Mike had. But we brought Nora down to Disney World. She was like 3 at the time. And I remember walking around Disney World, you know, happiest place in the world. That's what they say, right? I remember walking around Disney World and just like being barraged with emails. Emails from clients that are like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do this and blah, 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 which is totally fine, kind of. But when I'm out of the office and when I'm on vacation, don't do that, you know? And what I realized was that A, I had set the tone of total disrespect, right? That's a thing you kind of just need to own. But B, that it had become another job. Oh, for the love. It had become another job, you guys. This is going to be one of those videos where everybody's going to be like, I remember that time everything didn't work right. And then you burped. But I realized that day as I'm walking around Disney World, and I just keep getting bombarded with emails that were it's SEO, guys. It can't be that urgent. It literally takes weeks in order for it to work, okay? So nothing is that urgent in the world of SEO. But I would get these emails of like, I have to do this today. And I'm like, no, right? No. And that's where I realized that that leash existed and that it was just like my other job, but I was doing it from home or doing it from Disney World in this perspective or in this respect, right? And whenever I realized that, I was like, oh, heck no, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be home, but unavailable like forever. That's not why I did this. I didn't, start working from home so I could be there but unavailable. I started working from home so I could be there as Nora's growing up, so I would be able to have the in-between moments with her. And yeah, are there times I'm doing a video and I prefer that, she's doing something else right now? Yeah, of course. But are there also times that I'm sitting next to her on the couch, me with my laptop open, her either watching TV or playing or whatever, and we're doing things next to each other, with each other? Yes, that's what matters to me, right? And this whole situation was providing an anxiety and a stress level that I did not want, right? And so that's where the bobbing and weaving started happening. That's where when you realize you don't want something, you have to open yourself up to, but what else is available? What else can I do, right? Because whenever I did that, I realized that while I'm getting my clients very quickly, might I add, I was very good at it, but I was getting my clients not just on the first page, but like first slots. Even the first slots available under the ads, like they were getting all the way up there pretty darn quick, like within a couple, 3 months. And so whenever I saw that I was able to do that for them, and then I saw, and this again is my fault, but I saw also like a lack of gratitude and a lack of, they paid their bills and stuff, some of them, but like, it was like a lack of even just kind of thankfulness for most of them. Then I was just like, I have a perspective. I have things I want to say. I need to be working my own brand. I need to be doing my own thing. And I need to be able to show others how to do this as well. And so that's really when what you see today started. That's when it started, was when I didn't like this thing. So I was working from home, but I didn't like this thing, right? And then I opened myself up to, okay, what would I like? In what ways can I be helpful, right? That was really the most important thing. And so what I want you guys to hear out of this today is, even if you don't like what you start doing initially, allow yourself to open up to what else is available for you, because you don't need to see the first thing through. You're not a loser and you're not a failure if you don't see the first thing through. You're normal. You're an entrepreneur. It's okay. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like, here's the thing I felt, I was going to have external judgment from people that were watching me, and that they would say to themselves, I knew she couldn't do it. I knew she couldn't hack it. That's what I thought people were going to think about me or say about me or whatever. And did they? I have no idea, right? They didn't say it to me. I kind of doubt they said it at all. I think that our fears are just that. They're what we're afraid somebody's going to say about us, but in reality, that's with all the love, people just really aren't thinking about us that much. And it's okay. They've got their own stuff going on. They've got their own life going on. They've got their own problems going on. They've got things that are taxing their own mind that have nothing to do with you, And so for us to sit in a place that we don't feel good, I'm just going to use that word, because of what we believe others think about us or are going to say about us, is just silly. Don't do it. Don't do it. I saw somebody say once, if they're not paying your bills, why are you even listening to them anyway? Also, they're probably not even saying anything. Okay? So don't let your fear of what somebody else might believe or might say about you keep you from doing what you're here to do. Because if you start moving, if you start going towards something, it will be refined into what you are designed to do here. You will realize with an open mind, you will realize, oh my gosh, I think this might be better. I think this would feel better. I think this would be like more of a mission, more of a ministry for me. I feel like this is going to actually be the place that I should be, right? You're going to bob and weave into that. And the cool thing, guys, is that the bobbing and weaving never stops. We're still bobbing and weaving now, right? I mean, it's more in like this, but even in this, we're still kind of like zhuzhing into the place where like we make the biggest difference, right? You're going to hear a lot of stuff coming up over the next couple weeks, which is very, very cool. That's the zhuzhing and the bobbing and weaving, and it's just where can you create the most impact, right? That's really the name of the game. When you can create the most impact in something and impact in other people's lives, not just yours, but in other people's lives, that is where you have hit pay dirt, right? So anyway, this is just a thing to think about today. I'll be back tomorrow with some more. I love you guys. Have the best day. Adios.